What up, people? Smitty at Smitty Shop. Got the Pandemic Nova in the side bay. It's a Friday night. Coronavirus is still floating around the air, so I'm holed up in here. It's May 8th. And I was going to do a little stripping on this. Typically, I use the Bondo Hog, which is like a 7-inch DA that goes hog wild on this thing. I usually strap 40 grit on that, and you can see it. It kind of chews up the metal pretty good. It strips the paint off pretty good, but it's pretty aggressive. So I was looking at that real slicked Eastwood tool used for stripping cars, and I thought, oh, I'd kind of like that. And I was about to pull the trigger on it, and I think it's close to $200. And then I realized that they were back ordered on their heavy grit wheel for the tool. So I was like, all right. So I started doing some digging around on the old web, and I found this thing, which is probably this from the same country as the coronavirus. But like anything, it was about half the price. It is called what do they call these damn things? What's the official name? Burnishing polishing machine. Okay, so it came with this wheel, which is kind of like a Scotch-Brite grit, and then I went on Amazon and I got the heavier grit. It was cheap, so the whole thing cost me about $150. It's basically a cheap buffer with this, and it's set up, got a side, it's got like a twisted head on it. So we're going to try this thing out and see what kind of stripping it does. I'm going to try it on the roof. I did a quick little spot on the door. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bore you with a video of me stripping the paint. I'm going to time it. I'm going to just set my timer. I'm going to strip for 5 minutes. And we'll see how much we can accomplish in a 5-minute period. I'm going to just, I'm going to climb up on my stool, and I'm just going to do a section of the roof and basically see how long it takes me to, or how, holy hell. I need a Coors Light. I'm going to see how long it takes me to, Jesus. I am going to see how much of an area I can strip in a 5-minute period. All right, check back. All right. Let me back up a little bit here. That's 5 minutes worth of brandishing. That's 5 minutes worth of stripping. I'm not dissatisfied. What I do like is it's a much smoother surface that it's leaving it with. I mean, it's kind of tough to tell from video, but the Bondo Hog, as you can see there, the Bondo Hog is aggressive and it's multi-directional. Where this thing is kind of, it's a little bit smoother of a pattern. Obviously, I'm going to go over the whole thing again anyway. But for 5 minutes, not a whole lot of effort, a certain amount of vibration for sure. I'm going to grab a set of gloves to finish this up, but what do we got here? We got a probably 15 by 25 square. Pretty much right down to bare metal. I mean, I didn't get crazy finesse, and I didn't get close to the drip edge there or anything. I just wanted to just do a basic area. So 5 minutes, just about, I don't know, not quite a quarter of the roof. I'd say you could strip that roof, I would say clean, in probably 30 to 45 minutes tops. Which I'm gonna strip the rest of that roof. So check back. I gotta grab a mask and gloves. I'm in a freaking mess. All right, people. So that is, where's the clock here? 17 minutes. That's how long it took me to strip more than half the roof. You know, I left a little bit of stuff there because I'm going to go over it with the DA, but for the most part, you know, I got to just plug in over there and do that last little bit. So it took me 17 minutes to do that section there of very little effort. Not a lot of pushing because I'm standing on a step stool and hanging over the roof. Plus you got oil canning because you're in the center of the roof. So not a lot of effort, not a lot of time, stripped. You know, this car was at some point clear coat lacquer. So clear coat, paint, maybe not much clear coat. Definitely paint and definitely primer underneath. So not a heavily laden car as far as coatings go, but again, not a lot of effort on that either. 17 minutes, probably, you know, 15 minutes by the time I dusted my face off and grabbed the phone again. So I'd say that's pretty solid. Let me just drink a beer and then finish this. All right, so there we are. Another 15 minutes, and actually less than that. I was closer to 10 because I just cleaned up and took my shirt off and washed my hands. And the roof is done. I actually went ahead and did the drip guard on this side too, and down onto a little bit of the quarter panel too, just because. And so in under an hour, which included drinking a beer, fiddle farting around on the phone, switching sides, looking for extension cords, etc., etc. In under an hour, I was able to strip the entire the entire roof plus on the Pandemic Nova. Something to note, this car was originally a tan on tan car, so there was no sign of any tan paint on that roof, which leads me to believe A, it was stripped before, or B, it was maybe originally a vinyl roof car. I don't know. I haven't deciphered the VIN. I don't really care. My point being is there wasn't gobs and multiple layers of paint that I was working with. However, as I mentioned, minimal amount of effort. Definitely not a ton of time. And I think, in my opinion, having stripped dozens and dozens of cars, not a bad way to do it. Not a bad way at all. Obviously, you have to go over. I mean, it's not going to get into tight areas like this. Contours are a little bit challenging. That's got a big giant drum on it. This front portion of the guard, I may just trim that a little bit because you have to lay that thing otherwise pretty much flat. But I'll tell you what, overall the Spita definitely has a place in the body cart. That's I'm happy with it. I'll use it to strip the doors. I have other doors I'm putting on this car. I'll probably hit the tail panel with it to some degree. Yeah, overall I'm very happy with it. P.S. It is a messy, messy thing to do. If it wasn't, I got the door open now. If it wasn't 40 degrees in May and raining, it's definitely something you should be doing outside. Literally everything in this place is now covered in Nova dust. That's okay though. So I hadn't planned on doing this, otherwise I probably would have prepped a little better. I had the fan running back here. That big box there is a... Shut that off, that's a fan, but... Yeah, overall very happy with the Spita. I'm going to go into the office now and I'll pull up the original listing just so I can confirm the prices. All right, so real quick, so it was $104.99. It was 1200 watts, 110 volt, blah, 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 blah. I went with this one for two reasons. I think it had a little bit more power. I think the other one I looked at was 1000 watts. The other thing is that it had a faster shipping time. So $104.99 for that. There's the drum up there. That was $24.99. I just matched the specs as far as the size of the, the diameter of the thing. As you can see or maybe you can't. The diameter was a little bit bigger on the roller, but it fit perfect, and as you guys saw, it definitely did the job. So let me pull up the Eastwood one, which got my wheels turning on this whole idea originally. All right, so currently the Eastwood tool is on sale for 190 bucks. Looks like a better made tool to some degree. I like the guard on this better. See how it doesn't come forward? Like I was talking about trimming that other one. I like the way the handle is set up. You know, if you're looking for a quality piece, you know, you guys know Eastwood makes a great product. I'm not going to diss Eastwood by any means. One of the things that sticker shocked me was for the heavy grit pad. Let me see if I can just pull it up here. The heavy grit pad was back ordered for a month. It was also $50, which no, you know, and I didn't. Now that I know you can get China drums, I don't know if it's compatible or not. Regardless, I'm happy with my purchase. Some of the things that they talk about on the Eastwood part is that, you know, it's got this slow activated trigger, so you hit the trigger and it starts out slow and builds up speed. So does the Spata. The Spata also comes with an extra set of brushes, which oftentimes you see that with electrical things. I don't think I've ever had to replace brushes in any of my grinders. You know, and honestly, if I get 5 years out of that thing, the amount of times I'll use it, if it shits the bed, I'll throw it in the garbage for the $100. So overall, happy with the Spata. That's it for now. Stay tuned for more progress on the old Pandemic Nova. And Smitty, at Smitty Shop, out. Oh my God, that was a workout. It's the pandemic hair that's the real problem.